Mr. True Nightmares, Episode 32. I returned to my university dorm room late at night because I had gone to a party. When I entered my room, I had a strange feeling that someone else was there. It's hard to describe in words, but I was being watched, and it was as if time had stopped. I checked my wardrobe, under the bed, under the windows, in fact everywhere, but no one was there. The feeling inside me was still there. I was so scared that I couldn't turn off the light. At that moment, I heard a laughing sound and felt someone's breath on the back of my neck. I ran out of my room and went downstairs to the living room. When I finally fell asleep in the morning, I dreamt of my great-aunt in her youngest form. She was entering my room and laughing drunkenly. The next day, when I told my grandmother about my dream, she told me that last night was my aunt's birthday. Before I could get over the shock of the event, the next day, while walking around my university dormitory, I was confronted with the fact that my great-aunt had died in an accident on the day of her birthday. These mysterious events continued to disturb me. My aunt must have died, but it was a surreal experience to see her young in my dream doubt. After a while, I thought that the strange feeling I had in my room was an impression that my great-aunt's spirit was trying to tell me something. I thought she was reliving her last moments before the accident. On her birthday, maybe she was trying to convey a message to me. I decided to make more effort to understand the truth behind that sound of laughter and the breath on the back of her neck. I intensified my efforts to communicate with my great-aunt. I tried to establish a connection with her through meditation and spiritual research. One day I felt ready to face the strange energy I felt in my room that night. When I entered my room, the energy I felt was even more intense, influenced by my great-aunt's past sufferings. For a moment, it was difficult to breathe in the heavy air that enveloped the room. It felt as if the spirit of my great-aunt had begun to pull me. I tried to communicate with my great-aunt's spirit with the knowledge I had gained through meditation and spiritual research. However, this time, the communication was different from the previous one. My aunt was filled with an energy of anger and sadness. Stemming from her past hurts, she tried to express herself, but instead of words, she communicated with an inner feeling of emptiness. The spirit of my great-aunt began to suggest some kind of agreement. It promised me certain powers and knowledge in exchange for my helping her and alleviating her suffering. But behind these promises, I sensed the danger and fear. I accepted the spirit of my great-aunt. Instantly, the atmosphere in my room changed. The lights flickered, and a feeling of darkness filled the room. From that moment on, the spirit of my great-aunt began to guide me. During that night, she asked me to perform strange rituals and to operate with symbols I did not know. Slowly, under the influence of these evil forces, I began to weaken spiritually. The nightmares that haunted my dreams sucked my life energy. That night, I went through a process of strange ritual and symbols guided by the spirit of my great-aunt. With each passing moment, the dark energy I felt intoxicated me. My dreams seemed to be full of nightmares and intertwined with reality. After a while, the spirit of my great-aunt seemed to gain more power. It was slowly possessing me, forcing me to serve its purposes. The lights in the room became dimmer, and the darkness I felt became more intense. Finally, the spirit of my great-aunt appeared in the center of my room, freezing me for a moment as she breathed in and out silently. A pained smile spread across her face. After a moment of silence, silence. The room was filled with the sound of screaming. That night I felt that my great spirit was taking a kind of revenge, fueled by anger and sadness from her past suffering. She had used me, possessed me, and now I was part of the control. The story ended not with a happy ending, but with a dark fate. My great spirit seemed to have been released from the pain of the past, but this time it had taken over someone else's life.